Hello, my name's Cameron, this is the factory, and today I'm going to be teaching you about the different specifications for the Polyprinter 229 that we have in space. Currently, these are the single extruder versions of these printers. These are the ones that you all will be trained on using firsthand, that patrons are allowed to use. I'm just going to cover general specifications, what they can and can't do, and then I'm going to go into some of the more exotic features that they have that make it worth the price it is. So first off, we have our single extruder. The max temperature that the extruder can go to is 300 degrees Celsius. So if any of you are paying attention, you'll know that this can cover easily PLA, ABS, even some more exotic ones like Ninja Flex or nylon. The bed itself is an aluminum tray bed with PET tape that's mainly used for ABS, and of course I have some painter's tape on it to keep it ready for a PLA print that I was doing previously. But it is an aluminum bed. The max temperature that this can go to is 125 degrees Celsius. That is what it's rated for at the moment. But as far as filaments go, that should cover generally your ABS, nylon, any of those at any time. Now, as far as features go, we have the spool holder at the back. That's just simply a rack to hold the different filaments on. And then if you'll look just above here, we've got a spindle wheel that pops off with a magnetically attracted to the top here. This is a sensor for the filament. If anything comes loose or if this pops off, this will prevent the printer from going any further and should be a nice fail-safe in case of any kind of emergency or problem with the printer itself. That does have a sensor. Here you have the latch that's controlling, so it's just a pressure latch with a motor, with the extruder motor on the center here. Two fans, both on the top and the bottom, to help control cooling. And then of course up here, in case of any trimming, you've got a knife that you can move your filament into to carry a nice cut in case this is too large for this. As well, some of the more non-necessary features, but you do have a hood to help with insulation of print, as well as an onboard camera that can be viewed via the software through the printer, so you can keep an eye on your prints remotely. Alright, now that we've covered the basic parts, we're going to go into the more fine-tuned aspects. The extruder itself is 0.35 millimeter wide nozzle. That makes the resolution of prints anywhere from 0.05 millimeters to 0.25 millimeters in resolution as far as standard goes. That's about 70% of the diameter, which is factory or industry standard. As far as printing speed goes, this is highly rated at 250 millimeters per second for for inner and outer layers. Of course, that can be adjusted, but that's the max rating that we're allowed to go to as far as printing speed goes. After this, we're going to go on towards troubleshooting a few errors. Now, the most common errors are clogs in the nozzle due to maybe a failure in temperature or just something on the heating sink just did not work properly. In the case of a clog, what will happen is you're going to remove any excess filament that you may have. You'll just pop the latch and pull out the filament strand with enough force to pull it free. If for some reason it is still clogged, you'll try flushing it through the software. Of course, if that doesn't work, there are tools, implements that you'll need. Here we have one of the most important tools, a skinny rod with a handle. This is mainly used to force through any excess filament that's still within the nozzle. It's thin enough, it's as thin as one of the filament strands, so you just simply put it into the main access point for the filament anyway. I'm not going to do it now because the filament's cold and there's not currently a jam. There's no reason to stick this in when there's not. But in essence, you'll want to keep pushing through filament until the breach is cleared. Most of the times that will clear any everyday clogs that might happen. If there is a more extreme case where even that does not clear the nozzle, you may want to look at replacing the nozzle itself or even the extruder as a whole. Obviously that will be something a bit more advanced that will have to go into manuals and maybe even contacting Polyprinter themselves. So hopefully that doesn't happen. As for general maintenance, the belts and the belts and the pulley systems are currently under high tension. We recommend oiling the gears and the the stands at least once a month, or whenever they need oiling. Whenever they start to sound a bit rough, we usually take a little bit of on-hand oil and just apply it generously. The belts need to be checked for any sort of looseness or lack of tension in them. They need to be kept pretty wound tight. Alright, now that we've got everything else out of the way, we're just going to go over a few things about the bed itself. For these printers, you do not have to level the bed. It is auto-leveling. As well, it is auto-homing. The software itself will have buttons that you can use to home the X-axis, Z-axis, and the Y-axis, or just all of them in general. So you do not have to do any of that manually. All of that is set for you. Just for reference, the bed size is 229 millimeters by 229 millimeters by 229 millimeters. Approximately 9 inches by 9 inches by 9 inches. That is the max for these bed sizes. Anything larger than those dimensions will either need to be scaled down or sent over to the Lulzbot Taz's or a larger bed size to be printed. As far as the poly printer goes, those are all the details that you need to know. Anything else can be looked up on their website or by asking one of the other technicians who's more trained. But as far as that, thank you for listening.
For more information, check out our website at guides.library.unt.edu/factory.